Hi, hello. So this video is for all of those who they've got their makeup and now you're like, now what? So it's exactly how I felt when I first got mine as well. So I'm gonna go over it with you step by step, do a simple tutorial of how to use this makeup. We're gonna use one brush. We're gonna use the 3D brush, which I think is probably one of the best brushes to start with. It's really user-friendly. You can use the fluffy end for blending. You can use the pointier end for detail work. And it's a great one to start out with. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm gonna say is less is more. You're gonna use even less than what you think you're gonna use. Less is definitely more. This makeup is about 30 times more pigmented than regular makeup, so you just need a tiny bit. Now, if I've color matched you, I've probably matched you with 2 or 3 of the highlight colors. We've got a camel color, which is going to be probably a few shades darker than your natural skin tone, but this is going to camouflage all of those imperfections, especially under eye, any other blemishes you may have on your face. We've got our bridge color, which is going to be the closest to your skin tone, maybe a little bit darker, just to cover some of those darker spots. And then your pop color, which is going to be the brightest, lightest color, which is going to be about 2 shades brighter or lighter than your natural skin color. So if we look at our faces, we don't just have one color on our face. We have multiple different colors. So I've got a bunch of redness here and here in my chin. I've got darker areas, I've got lighter areas. So using one color foundation isn't going to work. It's not going to look natural, and it's not going to look three-dimensional like my face naturally is. So this is why we use the 3 different colors of foundation to make up our whole look. So let's get started. So I'm going to actually start with my contour, which is the dark color. I'm going to use the tip of the 3D brush. I'm just going to go in and just push into that contour, not swiping. If you're going to swipe, you're going to use much too much product. Okay, so just going along the top of the forehead. Okay, and then we're going to go under our cheekbones. So starting by your ear, you'll find you can move your jaw a little bit there. You can find where your natural cheekbone starts. So we're going to go there, and we're just going to hug that cheekbone just till about the outer of your eye. Okay, you can also use your finger for this if it's a little bit easier. So finding that cheekbone and just hugging it till you get to almost like where the hollow is, where it goes in. Okay, so usually around the outer portion of the eye. Okay, and now we can also do our jaw. This part is optional. You don't have to do this. Making sure that you're staying under your jaw, not on the side, right underneath. So we're just creating those shadows, okay, giving the illusion that our jaw is nice and chiseled. Now I've already got a natural shadow under my chin here, so I'm just going to go behind that and just blending it, just accentuating that natural shadow that I already have. Okay, and I'm just going to pull this down into the neck. Okay, just making those natural shadows just a little bit more prominent. Okay, now I'm going to do the nose after, because I got a little bit of color correcting that I need to do. So I'm going to start with my camel color, and I'm going to correct some of these. So on the sides of my nose here, in between my eyes, and then the darker parts on the cheeks, they just need a little bit extra coverage. So my bridge color, it will cover them, but it's not going to do the best job. So we like to use a color corrector. So I'm just going to use the fluffy end of the brush, okay, and just barely tapping in just the tiniest amount of product, okay, and I'm just going to buff that in anywhere where I want that extra coverage. Just a tiny, tiny, tiny amount. Okay, taking down that redness. Okay, now we're ready to move on to our bridge color. So this one is going to be closest to your skin tone, maybe a little bit darker. Okay, and just, so we're going to go along the jawline and then over top of where we put that camel color. So we want to make sure that we're stippling so we don't move that camel color that we just used to camouflage, and just blending the two colors together. Okay. Actually, I'm going to use a little bit more of that camel color right under the eye there, just for a little bit extra coverage. Right, going in again with that bridge color. Anywhere that you didn't put that camel color, you can buff it. Circular motions. And just under that contour line on the forehead, and just again stippling in the middle where I put that camo color. Okay, now we're done with that, and we're going to go to the pop color. So this is the lightest, brightest color. It's going to be about 2 to 3 shades brighter than your bridge color, and this is going to bring the lightness back to your face. Okay, so I like to use my finger for this one just because it gives me a little bit more control. So I'm just taking a little bit on my finger. I'm going to pop it on the inner corner and the outer corner of my eye just to bring in that brightness. Down the center of the nose, on the Cupid's bow, and in the middle of the chin. Okay, so just a big T, and just bringing the lightness to the center of the face. I'm going to use that fluffy end again, blending that in, just lightly tapping to soften it. Okay, starting on the inner corner, taking that product, working it to meet the outer corner, just being extra gentle with that skin under your eye. Okay, that is where we're going to have the most fine lines and wrinkles. We want to be extra, extra gentle with that skin. It is super thin, and we want to make sure we are taking care of it so we're not pulling and creating more texture and more wrinkles. So just pushing that in, just very gently, working that product in. And now before I blend that, I'm going to go in nose contour. So again, taking that contour on the tip of my finger, and I'm just going to go and draw 2 lines on the side of my nose, bringing it up to meet my eyebrow. Okay, not on the side of the nose. See how there's already a natural shadow there? We want to bring it more on the top of the nose. So pulling that shadow up, which will make our nose appear slimmer. Okay, so the closer the lines are together, the thinner your nose is going to be. Now just taking that brush and just tapping and softening those lines. We don't want to blend them all away. We just want to soften them to make them less noticeable. Okay, let's blend in that contour. So blending it up into the hairline, creating that shadow, bringing the attention to the middle of the face. The contour is going to absorb the light because it is a cooler, ashier tone, so it's going to absorb the light and not reflect it. Okay, just swirling motions there to blend the contour and making sure that you're blending upwards, so you're bringing that shadow up higher. You don't want to bring it any lower, or else it's going to make that hollow of your cheekbone lower and lower, which is going to make your face look more drooped and pulled down. So we want to pull everything up, making sure that that shadow is where it needs to be, up on the cheekbone. Okay, and you can blend to your heart's content. Some people like a more defined contour line. Some like it super, super blended. So just keep going until you're happy with the look. Okay. And if you do go too low, it's an easy fix. Just go back into your main highlight, okay, and just add a little bit more of that highlight. And you can soften the two lines that way as well. Okay, we're done with our face. Everything is blended in. We've got a nice blended look. Okay, we've got dimension in our face. We've got lightness in the center of our face. We've got our features chiseled out. We've got any imperfections corrected. Okay, now we're gonna go into lip and cheek. We've got a ton of different lip and cheeks. There's so many to choose from. I usually like to give you the option of which ones you've chosen, and I'm sure you've gotten a couple already because there's just so many options. So we're just gonna go into, okay, this one is nude, and just tapping it just above that contour line, making sure not to go too far forward. So if you smile in the middle of the apple of your cheek here, okay, now drop your face, and you want to put your blush behind that, okay? Just giving that, once again, that lifted appearance, that youthful appearance. Okay, so smile, there's the middle of the apple, drop, and anywhere behind that. So there we go, just kissing that contour line. And again, just swirling it in. Okay, so we've got our face done. That's super quick, super easy. We're gonna finish it off. We're gonna go in with our perfector sponge, and we're going to push all of that makeup in. This is gonna take off any of the excess. So if we have used too much product, this will help get rid of it, so we don't have a ton of it sitting on our face. If you're feeling tacky, if you're feeling sticky, you are using too much product, so next time adjust the amount that you're using. And it does take a little while to get used to it. It's the number one mistake. I made the mistake as well when I started out. I still make the mistake sometimes of putting a little bit too much on, and this is going to be key. So this is really going to help with that. Now, while we're talking about this, let's talk about the importance of the color match. So if you're seeing texture, if you're seeing that your pores look to be more prominent, if it's increasing the look of wrinkles and fine lines, I want you to reach out to me, because most of the time your color is too light. I've also had this problem. I tried using a lighter color and it just didn't work with my skin. It was showing a lot of texture on my skin, and I needed a darker color. So if you're having any of those issues, please reach out to me. We can look at your colors, we can adjust them. On the other side of the spectrum, if once everything's blended and you're feeling you look too yellow, your color is most likely too dark. So we can adjust things the other way as well. So if you're having any issues with longevity, with colors, with any kind of texture that you're seeing, please reach out to me. And 99% of the time, it's just a color that needs to be tweaked. And that's easy to do. We have a 30-day return and exchange policy. So if the color's wrong, you have 30 days to exchange it to get that right color. So reach out to me, reach out to Seint, and we can get it all set for you. So now let's talk about setting the makeup. So once you're all done, you've got your makeup all applied, you're gonna wanna set it. So Seint has a setting spray and it's great. It does the job really well. It is a dewy finish. So if you prefer a dewy finish, this one is great. If you prefer a matte finish, I also really like this one. This is the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray airbrush flawless. It's really good. It has a matte finish. So either one of these and you're gonna be great. If you have super oily skin, you'll probably want a powder to set after you've used your setting spray. So Seint has one, the Vanilla Dust. It is a very finely milled pressed powder, and I'll show you what that is. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spray my face. Okay, so spraying all over, helping that makeup set. Gonna let it all completely dry, and then we're gonna finish off our look. Okay, so if you want a more of a mattified finish, or if you're really oily, you can finish off with a powder. I suggest using a setting spray first and then a powder for that extra stay. So this is our powder brush, and just pushing it into that Vanilla Dust. Another really good setting powder that's been around a long time is Coty Airspun. A lot of girls really like it, especially if you're more on the oily side. So I suggest giving that one a try as well. And if you do want a little bit extra mattify, you can put some powder on. So, you know, I tend to get a little bit oily in the center of my forehead, so you can do there. Under the eye is always a big one too. So just pushing that powder in, okay, not swiping. And that's just gonna help so it doesn't move all day. Okay, you can do on the side of the nose too. Mine tends to rub off with my glasses throughout the day, so making sure that I set extra around there. Okay, we're gonna finish off with illuminator. So we have cream illuminators. We've got cream illuminators, but we also have powder illuminators. We've got like this one here, this is Photoshop. The powder illuminators are gonna they're gonna give you a lot more bang for your buck. They're very pigmented. They'll give you a real big pop of lightness there. I prefer the cream ones. The powder ones are great for special occasions and full glam looks, but for everyday I like the cream ones, and I've probably recommended a cream one to you. So you can either use your brush, you can use your finger, you can use your perfector. Okay, so just going in and just taking just a little bit of that illuminator. Okay, so in the regular makeup world, this is what they would call a highlight. So it's gonna reflect the light and just give you that inner glow that we lose with age. I'll show you it on the other side with the perfector. So just taking a little bit on there, okay, and just high points of the cheeks. Okay, and it just reflects that light. And I put a little bit on the tip of my nose. Okay, that helps make the nose look even more slim. Top of the lip. And a little bit on the part of the chin. Okay, you also do the inner corners of the eyes. You could do on the arch of your eyebrow. Okay, so that is the illuminator. And I think that's it. Okay, so key things to remember when you're doing your contour, think of it like a number 3. Okay, so top of the forehead, under the cheekbones, under the jaw. Okay, you can do, you could also do under your lip. So just under the bottom lip, just gives that shadow, making your lip appear a little bit bigger. And just remembering to blend that. And bronzer, the last key step. So as we age, especially, our skin tone loses a little bit of that warmth. So we can use a bronzer to add that warmth back in. So we're gonna put that underneath the contour. So think about where the sun naturally hits you. So you're gonna get cheeks and on the forehead. Okay, again, just a little bit. So the difference between bronzers and contours. Okay, contours are a little bit cooler, more ashy. They're going to absorb the light, and bronzers are much warmer, and they're going to add warmth into the skin. So just like a C, where you would naturally get the sun, and again, a little goes a long way with this one. We have 4 different kinds of bronzers, or 4 different tones of bronzers rather. This is Bella Bronzer. She's probably our most versatile and looks great on everybody. So again, on the cheeks, lower part of the forehead, you can go along the tip of the nose, on the chin, anywhere that you would naturally get that sun. All right, we are done. So if you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to ask me. I am here for you. I am here to help you every step of the way. If you're having any issues, I would love to help and troubleshoot it with you. And we will go on this journey together. So thank you so much. I can't wait to work with you. I know you're gonna love your makeup as much as I do. And we'll see you all again soon.